visible?
Yes, sir. It is
Oh,
visible.
thank you, thank you. I'm really sorry for this disturbance. So this particular document is available. If you write any one of our name, all the three people, then it is available for public download also in the IAEA website. Then the main, as I told in the beginning, that the aim of this study was to see that people who are working nearby the instrument, that means we are focusing to X-ray studies. All the X-ray installations across Mizoram, we have done the study, and we have taken care of all type of X-ray installations, whether it is mobile, whether it is in the normal hospital, or whether it is animal hospital, anywhere. All the installations, all the X-ray setups we have taken care in this study. That is because of very hard work done by Jonathan Lalrin Moya, who visited every place by himself and took the data without any, without any delay and without any break. And for this, I'm grateful and thankful to the AERB also for providing a project where we could develop the data, we could analyze the data, and we could study, and we were able to recommend the implementation strategies to the government of Mizoram regarding this. And I'm really grateful to the government of Mizoram also that they have already taken so many steps to sort out the problems or issues which were there during this study, what we found. So if you look at this, you will see that the places with blue type color, they are hospitals. C are community health center. P is primary health center. So we have tried to cover everyone, all the facilities where the X-ray installation is available. We have reached there physically. We have not used any other person, second person to take the data. That is the important point of this work, that in this work, all the data, our JRF, Dr. Jonathan Lalrin Moya, has taken personally. We have not utilized anybody. No, we have not sourced somebody that you do for me. No, all the data is taken by him. So it was really hard work, and that he did during the period of 2014 to 2020, almost 6 years. Then out of these, many number of hospitals or health centers or research centers which are there within Mizoram. So out of that, 26 are located in Aizawl itself, and others are in, as you have seen in the map. So we have tried to visit everywhere. And I think all of us know one of the reasons to study was the relevance of the cancer and its connection with the X-ray. So this was one of the objective also, one of the reason also to study. As we know that Mizoram, unfortunately, we are number one in stomach cancer. So one of the type, there are different cancers which are which type of cases are there in Mizoram, but stomach cancer, the number of cases is quite high, and unfortunately we rank first in India in case of stomach cancer. Then for for this study, the following were the objectives of study. One was to study the mechanical properties. Under this, we studied the optical and radiation field congruency, center radiation beam alignment, perpendicularity, half layer value, and total radiation filter. This is one of the objective. Under the second objective, to investigate input-output characteristics of conventional X-ray machines. So we tried to see the electrical and electronic side of the machine also. So under that, we studied the accelerating potential, tube current, exposure time, output consistency, table dose. All these are related to the health hazard or radiation hazard, because when the patient is going, entering into the room, and when he or she is treated, and the people who are operating the machine, taking care of all these things, these different parameters were chosen in the study. And point number 3 for objectives that we chose was to investigate radiation characteristics of X-ray installations. Under this, we tried to know what is the leakage leakage radiation from the X-ray tube and installations room. As I told you that inside the room are nearby those people who are operating the machine. They are also target of the study, and also the patients. And if there is a leakage, the radiation may go where it is not expected to be used. Scattered radiations from conventional diagnostic X-ray installations. So this was the third objective under which we studied the scattering and leakage of the X-ray radiations. Then for this particular study, different instruments were used, and one of them is when we study the output radiation of diagnostic X-ray machine. This is a battery operated portable dosimeter we use. This is RAD Check Plus, and this is manufactured by Fluke Biomedical from Ohio, USA. So we tried to use why I'm trying to show this, that we tried to use the good quality, the possible best quality equipment for our study. So this was one of the instrument. Then the next instrument was KVP meter. This KVP meter, it is wide range digital meter which can measure the effective peak potential applied to tungsten target of diagnostic X-ray tube, because this is very important to know, because if there is a fluctuation in the voltage, if there is the voltage supplied to the tungsten filament to the target from where the X-ray is coming out, if there is a fluctuation in voltage, if there is a instability, it affects the radiation outcome certainly. So that is why this particular parameter was also taken care in the study, because to check whether there is a proper supply, there is a stable supply or not, or there is a frequent power cut in the area, or there is a frequent low voltage supply, or similar problems we tried to study, because they are very important in respect of the beam, X-ray beam, which is coming out from the target. So this was one of the very important instrument which measured about the peak potential. Then we also used survey meter, and this survey meter was all we use is battery operated, because we have to take it in the field. So if it is battery operated, it is easy to use. It is handheld, and this can measure X-ray and gamma ray above 25 kilo electron volt and beta radiation above 1 million electron volt, using the latest complementary metal oxide semiconductor and liquid crystal display technology. So this was another state-of-the-art instrument, a good instrument, one of the best in the world used for this kind of study. We also purchased and used that instrument in our study. Then collimeter beam alignment test, that was one of the objective of our study. This was done, and then this beam alignment test tool is nothing but a plastic cylinder, 6 inches with 1 by 16 inch diameter steel ball at each end. When the tool sits upright on a level surface, the upper ball is directed above the one in the base. So by using this, the collimeter beam alignment was studied in this particular work that our group did. Then TLD badge or thermoluminescent dosimeter. I think this is one of the very famous detectors which you might know, those who are involved in that. In general, we use the calcium sulfate as a detector here. So this is, as personal monitoring service, is a part of regulatory requirements. The investigator procedure, thermoluminescent dosimeter we use as a badge, which is used by the people working with the instruments in the premises of those installations or X-ray radiation sources. So this enables us to know whether we are working within the safe dose, because you can make the thermoluminescent study of those badges. Inside the badge, you have a detector. So you can take out the detector, you make the thermoluminescent study, and you will come to know that how much dose has been absorbed by the person taking care of the installation. So the dose absorbed by the health worker can be counted, can be investigated by using the thermoluminescence technique available with us here at the Mizoram State Cancer Institute. So we use that facility for this particular study. Then we also study the mechanical properties, because mechanical parameters are also equally important, whether all the components of the X-ray are where they should be, or whether they are dislocated, or whether they are inclined. So these studies also we make. Then radiation beam and optical field congruency, we call it. So a common problem of X-ray machines is the misalignment of the collimator light field with the X-ray field. So this misalignment, if there is a misalignment between the collimator light field and the X-ray field, it can create problem, it can create health hazard to the people working or to the people whom we are using for the test purpose or the X-ray diagnosis we are doing. So those who are being diagnosed, that means patients, and those who are handling the machine, this problem is equally true for both. So that's why this particular study was also taken up. Then when it comes to the parameters that we took up in the study, it is to measure the output linearity of time, input voltage and current were fixed, and at least 4 exposures were performed. So this is important thing, because we did not go just with the one data and deciding the result based on the single data. It's not like that, but actually we took many readings, and as it is you can see here that there are at least 4 readings we have taken, so that we can take the average, and therefore we can have more reliable data and more useful data. For particular exposure time, 2 seconds, not less than 3 exposures were performed with the same input parameter to calculate the average value. So for one particular reading, we have taken 3 times, okay, same input parameter 3 times, and then took average, so that the reliability of the data and accuracy of the data can be enhanced. That was our purpose. That's why we did that. Then other parameters which we used, like output reproducibility, that means at constant tube voltage and tube loading, not less than 5 exposures were performed. For this particular study, we wanted to know that whether at the same input, the output is coming exactly the same or not. That is the point of, that is what we call it, output reproducibility. So constant tube voltage, there also we tried to take 5 readings so that we can have the best result out of our study. Then tube output 70 kilovolt at FDD. At tube voltage, FDD means focus to detector distance. So at tube voltage of 70 K, peak potential, and a typical tube loading, the X-ray dose was measured at 100 centimeter. That means 1 meter. This assessment can be used for evaluating patients' skin dose. So all these studies have a lot of importance when we want to know how the radiation has impacted or affected to the patients, and whether it is doing the job up to the extent it should be, or it is having some other issues which are undesired or which are nothing but comes under the category of health hazard to the patients. Then accuracy of the peak potential, KVP accuracy. To evaluate this, we measured from 50 kilovolt to 150 kilovolt peak potential in the steps of 5 kVp, where loading and FDD were set as per Fluke manual for different accelerating potential. So this Fluke manual is a standard one. So for our studies, we use that manual to explain and measure the parameters which are relevant and which are important in this particular study. Then the safety parameters that we studied, because when it comes to the safety, then safety of the patient from the hazard, safety of the the health workers from the hazard, and safety of the people who are visiting to the hospitals for diagnosis purpose of their spouse. All those things we took care, And then what we studied is 16 important safety parameters. So these are also well-established things globally. So we took all those parameters: frequency of quality assurance, X-ray room layout, availability of PMS, lead apron, gonad shielding, repeated exposure, repetition region, qualified personnel, collimator bulb, field size knob, patient entrance door, protective barrier, waiting area, chest stand, warning light, dark rooms. So if, as I told you, if you look at all these parameters, they cover to not only to the patient, but they are covering to the health workers who are using the X-ray machine, those people who are coming for diagnosis, and those people who are who are the helper or who are the family members who are coming along with the patient. So for all those, that is why the waiting area also has been taken care, not only the room. So all these parameters cover all the three important targets. That means patient, the health worker, and the visitors also. So this information was collected from radiation workers and the heads of institutions through observation and interview. So this was also done, as I told, by the scholar, Dr. Jonathan Larin Moya. That time he was a scholar. So this part of the work also, like visiting to the people and taking their interview, that also he did it personally. So we took a little more time, but the elaborative and authentic work could be produced from our group. Then investigation of conventional diagnostic X-ray tube housing leakage radiation using ion chamber survey meter. This also was one part of the study, where what we did is that we tried to measure the leakage radiation from X-ray tube. The collimator diaphragms were closed completely and the tube was projected vertically downward. The tube leakage measurements were done at 1 meter film focus distance by putting detector at 5 different positions: left, right, front, back, and top of the X-ray tube. So doing the measurement in this way has given us a very clear-cut information and authentic information about the leakage radiation from X-ray tube. So this was one of the important objective where we studied the leakage radiation. Then, according to Atomic Energy Regulatory Board Safety Code 2001, medical diagnostic X-ray equipment and installations, it mentioned that every tube housing for medical diagnostic X-ray equipment shall be so constructed that the leakage radiation through the protective tube housing in any direction should not be larger than 100 centimeters square. That is the standard set by the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, Government of India. So this can be up to, it should not be more than 100 centimeters square with no linear dimension greater than 20 centimeters. And it shall not exceed an air karma of 115 milliroentgen or 1 milligray in 1 hour at a distance of 1 meter. So this kind of study, this kind of standards already there. So we did our study and compared with that. Then this is from the X-ray target when the tube is operating at the maximum rated kVp and for maximum rate current at that kVp. So this particular standard is set, and our study we have to do and compare with this only. So this is the permissible limit as set by Atomic Energy Regulatory Board in the under AERP Safety Code, AERB Safety Code 2001. Then, in addition to that, NCRP report number 147 also gives some standard, and it is it was given that the manufacturers were required by regulation to limit the leakage radiation to 0.876 milligray. So not only to the users, but in the initial stage when those people, those companies who are manufacturing these equipments, they are also given, they are also come under AERB, because they have to follow these regulations, that when they manufacture that kind of unit or installation, then they have to check that the leakage radiation should not exceed 100 millironjan at 1 meter. So at 1 meter, it should not exceed 100 mR or 0.876 milligray, same thing. So all these studies, as you have seen, several parameters which are focused to mechanical, optical, electrical, electronic. In general, I can say all these four objectives we keep into account and did our studies in a very, very detail as far as possible. Then what are the findings if you look at then mechanical properties? If you look at the mechanical properties, in congruency between radiation and optical field study, we 80.85% we are found to be beyond the acceptable limit. This, when you see this data, it is our first paper when we published long back, maybe 2016 or 17. So it is not the present status, because at present Government of Mizoram has taken several steps and many corrective measures have been taken, and this percent is not indicating the present status. But at the time of our study, we found that 80.85% we are beyond the acceptable limit. Then when testing the central beam and image receptor perpendicularity, we use 53 units. So this you can understand that out of several units which are there across the state, many of them were having not in working condition. So which we are in working condition or where we can take this data, that is based on that. So that's why 53 units. So 69.81% of those units 1.5 degree of perpendicularity and did not pass the test. So these faults will result into significant increase in patient and radiation worker doses. So this was the problem. That means if we do not take the corrective measure, the radiation workers and patients are likely to face the radiation hazard as a primary radiation through primary or secondary. It can be both or it can be one. So the calculated total filtrations of conventional X-ray machines at different institutions were compared with national and international standards. So this also we did, because when we do our work, just our claim is not enough unless and until we compare our findings with the global values or global data available in that kind of similar study. So when we compared that, we found that 27.83% met of 27.83% of the X-ray machines, they met the national standard, and only 15.46 met the international standard. But good thing is that by now, I think this percentage may be very, very high after the steps taken by the government of Mizoram. It appears that most of the equipment in the present study had poor filters. So that means when we checked and the filter properties, then we found that the poor quality of filters were there at that time, at the time of study. Then input-output characteristics is another very important, as I told you in the beginning, that if there is variation in the input voltage, it affects the output of X-ray, that is sure. So that is why this study also we performed, that is input-output characteristics of the conventional X-ray machines. And here, among different X-ray generator parameters that we studied, we found that 59.2% linearity of time, 82.6% linearity of current, 89.7% peak kilovoltage, accuracy, then 35.1% output reproducibility. Then, and I think you this thing I just again insist, output reproducibility means suppose you are giving 20 kilovolt and you take the reading of output for 5 times, and if your output is totally stable, that means it is producing the same X-ray output in different times when you are giving the same voltage. So that is known as reproducibility. Then 92.8% table dose, we are beyond acceptable limits. That means when the patient are given the dose and they are lying on the table, so whatever the standard set, then when we compare that, I will again insist, this is the data of that time, not today. Then we found that a quite a large number, large percentage, the table dose were beyond the acceptable limits as set by AERB. The reasons for such poor performance were improper quality assurance tests, old machine used without proper maintenance, and power supply problems. So these may look a small thing, but if there is a voltage, lower voltage, and if there is fluctuation of voltage, it affects the working of the machine and therefore affects the radiation value, radiation intensity, radiation nature, um, or radiation wavelength of the X-ray machines. So these parameters are very, very important. Like we also observed that, I think initially I told you the 16 safety parameters. So those, when we studied all those 16 essential safety parameters, what we found that only 1.9% equipment implied lead line patient entrance door. So it was very bad situation that time. Now it has been improved a lot, and maybe by now all the machines might have got corrected this thing. Then 46.8% machines were operated without any protective barrier. So that means it was affecting not only to the patients but also to the worker, the technician who is operating the machine. 83.1% units were operated without personal monitoring service. That means those people who were working are technical people, are technicians. They were not monitored that how much radiation they have really absorbed, how much dose they have already got. So there was no account for that. That is very important to have the account that how much radiation has been absorbed by the health worker, because there is a maximum limit for yearly dose. So if you do not know, then the person might have crossed the limit of the dose recommended or the permitted dose. So when we do this particular study, we found that 92.2% of the facilities recorded repeated examination due to over and under exposures, spoiled films, and patient movement. It can be concluded that due to the absence of proper quality control program in the past, many installations were not following the standard installation guidelines which were laid down by the regulatory bodies. So for us, regulatory body is Atomic Energy Regulatory Board. So we need to follow the standards, and those standards are in line with international standards also. So those standards are required to follow in the interest of the patients, health workers, and visitors, so that they do not get knowingly, unknowingly, they do not fall under the health hazard. Then, as I told you that if we take some data and we make some study and we just claim that this is the best, that is not possible. In research, that is not the way, and nobody accepts that. That is why our study, what we did, we tried to compare our output or the findings with the Middle East countries, with Asia, Africa, and Europe. We tried to check it in a global level, where we stand, where our data stand, or where our studies actually, what is the status of our studies as compared to the others, and what is the status of our health instruments or facilities compared to others, as far as the X-ray installations are concerned. So it is important to highlight that in the initial stage of the present investigation, that is 2015, majority of the radiographers and institutional heads were not acquainted with the benefits and significance of X-ray quality assurance test. So it was 2015. Now after that, many steps have been taken, and people are more aware now that although we cannot see the radiation, but it can cause havoc to the concerned people, whether it is the health workers, whether it is the patients, or the visitors, or those who are coming with the patients. Then there is one more point which I would like to mention here, that there is a provision for registration. Whatever instrument which is connected with the radiation hazard, which is likely to create radiation hazard, it is mandatory to have registration with regulatory bodies. That means Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, Government of India. So there, if you do not register, that is incorrect, because you require registration so that the standards can be followed by you, and therefore it is doing its job very, very nicely and the way it should be. So present study is one of the economical backward areas and locate because we are, as we know, we are one of the remotest place, Mizoram, in India. So the main reason was the of the present study area. Why we choose this? That we wanted to see that whatever instruments are being used, that means X-ray installations, whether all are in good condition. If not, then what is the status? So our idea was to make the status report and also to recommend the measures, to recommend the implementation strategies. Then here, if you look at the last point here, through Radiation Safety Agency, in March 2019, 124 installations were having licensed under AERB. So that is what I was telling you, that the condition in 2015 and 19 is totally new change, or totally new word you can say, because in 2015 there was hardly any installation registered, X-ray machine registered. But in 2019 March, that means around 4 years or more than 4 years, 73% of the X-ray installations already got registered, already got licensed. So condition is, our situation in this regard is now very good. 73% are already licensed. That means they are coming under the monitoring. You have to give the status report of those equipments regularly as per their rule, as per the guideline of the AERB. Then our group, after the about 6 years of study, we recommended few things, implementation strategies, and as I told you a little earlier, that most of those recommendations or strategies has been accepted, and the action has been taken by the government of Mizoram. But just to inform you what things we recommended, the first point was the regular quality control of conventional X-ray equipments, and fixing their defects can play an important role. That means there should be regular quality control check of the machines, and it helps the machine longevity, reduce absorbed dose of patients, and improving the quality of radiographic images. That is also important, because if the radiographic image more is the clear, more correct diagnosis information is given by the expert, by the concerned doctor. When he looks at the X-ray plate, if the image is not clear, there is a chance of getting incomplete information or misleading information can be there. So this first implementation strategy. Point number 2, performing strict quality control. That is one of the very important factors which is required for the radiation protection priorities. So that we should do also regularly, periodically. So when you say quality control, that means the routine checkup of the machine. If you do and check that how much radiation it is giving out, how much it is supposed to give, whether it is aligned or not, and so on. That's how you can control the quality. Then after sale service cost, that can be reduced, especially if it is performed by the radiation safety officer or qualified medical physicist. So in the 3-member group, the joint supervisor, Dr. Kham Sonpao, is medical physicist, and also he is the head radiation safety Mizoram. So all these things are very important, and all the review we recommended this point number 2. Then point number 3, the participation of medical physicists, radiographers, and radiologists in the implementation of the quality control. That is also very important, because if they are all involved, then in the state level, everyone, the concerned one, are aware about the situation, and they are aware that where the steps are to be taken and which instrument needs improvement in the terms of performance. So all those can be taken care. Then number 4, the operator dependent. After employing the best X-ray equipment, if you don't have the person, the technician who is working, who is handling the machine, he is not sensible, then problem may happen. So most radiation workers in the developed countries have appropriately trained and educated for the safe use of ionizing radiation. Because X-ray, when you say, it comes under ionizing radiation and the medical imaging. As I told you, that the picture, the image, the X-ray plate is also equally important. Then periodic in-service training should be done to maintain these skills, because if we just do once, then that may not be enough, because many changes, many new studies always come in, and the people who are handling the machine, or you may be getting the new model of the machine. So you need to know the people who are handling the machines. They should be up to date about the how to use with the best skill at the time. So that is why it is very, very important to have regular periodic in-service training. That is necessary, because otherwise, like in any other area also, if we do not study, if we don't know the current status, then our work, our quality of the work, our handling of the instrument, and many other things may be actually not up to the mark. So that is why it should be always taken care that regular in-service training, periodic training of the staff should be given, because they are the main people who are using the machine, and whose knowledge can impact thousands of the patients. Then last point which we recommended is that to provide detailed in-service training when new technology is introduced. So what we recommended is that continuous or regular periodic in-service training, that is okay, where you are working with the machine. So any new thing, new research has come up, this will be told. But only that is not enough. Whenever a new technology comes, so that one should be that training regarding the new technology and medical imaging should be given to all the workers, whether it is new or old or whatever. So whoever are involved, they should know about the new development, so that they are up to date in their work, and they are not like talking about 10 years back or 20 years back things, but they are up to date that in this particular area, this is the latest. So this is the last recommendation that we make. So total 5 recommendations we make. And in this study, we did our publication in this Iranian Journal of Medical Physics. Then most of the publications are SCI, and this another is Japanese Society of Radiological Technology and Japan Society of Medical Physics. Both are Springer Nature. Then the next one also Springer Nature, the same Japanese journal. Then this Journal of Medical Physics also, we did our publication. So we tried to publish our work, spread our work globally as much as possible, so that people can comment, people can give suggestions, and so that our work can improve. Then we also published in our local journals also, and also in the proceedings. So out of this work, we published 8 papers, 1 policy document. And I hope you will find it interesting, my talk, my discussion. However, I'm very sorry that there was lots of disturbance during the beginning time. Then I'm really thankful to all of you for your patience hearing. Thank you so much. So if there are any questions, I will be happy to answer. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah. So if there are any questions, they can post it here also in the chat box, or they can ask directly by unmuting. I'll try to answer.
Yes, sir, there is one question in the chat box.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, thank you.
I
Yeah,
will read it out.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I can read, madam. So
Okay, good.
the first question is that I would like to know if it is safe for others to stay near the X-ray machine while it is used. No, 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 not at all. When the X-ray machine is being used, as you have seen the AERB regulation that beyond the tungsten filament from 1 meter from that distance, 100 milliröntgen should be the maximum dose. So all those are there, but those things are like those people who are working with the machine. So radiation worker is the first one who should be aware about the safe distance. And when what you are asking the safe distance, the machine is on or not, there are, that depends on that. If machine is totally off, then the situation is different. And when the machine is in use, situation is different. So when machine is in use, actually only patient is there on the table, and the operator is also not in that room. I think you can understand the seriousness. That operator is operating the machine from outside, or if it is inside the room, there is a separate glass enclosure shielding. There is a radiation shielding. Inside that, the operator sits and operates. So it is not safe. When it is on, please never go to near the machine if it is in active condition. Any other question, please? You can post in the chat box. I can see and try to answer.
Thank you, sir. Professor R.C. Tiwari, for your eye-opening and very interesting presentation. The presentation was very clear enough, so we're very happy. And once again, we would also like to thank everyone who participated today, everyone listening today. Thank you so much for being here with us. We will see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.